James. Today's February 25th at 9:11 a.m. Let's take a look at everything. So the futures look quite good this morning. It's amazing how the market just doesn't seem to want to go down or take a pause. It just keeps climbing. So the futures look really good. The Dow and the S&P just keep going up right now. We're getting close to this resistance level here. So we might see the pause come there, or they might end up blasting through it, and then the pause will come above it. We'll have to see how that plays out, but either one is fine, really. However it goes. The Nasdaq is over the 200-day. The S&P is over the 200-day. The market is either right under overbought or already overbought, but it keeps going overbought, just slightly under overbought slightly, because it just keeps getting bought right now. Let's take a look at my list now. I'm going to make a quick comment about my list. It's small. I only have 4 stocks in there. What I'm looking for are stocks that have at least 25% earnings and sales growth, as well as a 4-week base before I'm going to buy anything. I've had a hard time finding those. A lot of them go up, bull flag, or make a small pennant and go. Some of them I found those fail. Some of them work. And then some of them that are actually working don't have the earnings and sales that I want. So it's really hard. It's been a little bit difficult for me to pinpoint, that one or that one or that one. Earlier or last year, when we had the really rough period between October and December, Netflix was a fantastic one, and Square was a fantastic one. And there might have been a few others where they had these huge bases, or these really, really big, really big patterns that you could easily trade out of because the market just turned and those things were just ready to go. There's a bunch of them inside of my other list here, like Palo Alto Networks. Paycom was one, Palo Alto was one, MDB was one. So one thing that I'm trying to do is get my discipline down into the plan that I've actually written for myself, which is based on all the things I just said. So that's what I'm showing in my list now. I'm trying to whittle down to see what I find in the market as it is now that fit all those criteria. So the first one I have is AYX, and that's I'm actually in this one from last week. It did break out with volume at the time it broke out. The volume didn't really continue through the whole day. You can see that it's kind of low by the end of the day, but it's right there and it's ready to go. It's all the way up to the top. I think it's gapping up a little bit. This one really doesn't have a lot of pre-market activity, so it's hard to tell. I'm hoping it breaks out of the ascending triangle and keeps going. Square is another one. You can see this is what I was talking about with Square, this huge falling wedge. And it culminated in early 2019 where it finally broke over and it just took off. I was in it, but I got stopped out. I realized that my line, when I drew it, was a little too high. So I got in, the price pulled back a bit and stopped me out. If I had the line a little lower, I'd still be in it now because of all of that gain, and it never really came back that far from entering down there. So that's an example of the kind of pattern that I'm looking for, the kind of entry I'm looking for. Right now there aren't a ton of those, so it makes it a little hard if you're not already in something to find one that you can jump into. But Square does have this ascending triangle, and this triangle is about, I think it's approaching about 5 weeks now, maybe even approaching 6. But yeah, the upper level on that is 78.15. So, and it's gapping up over that today. It was at 78.30, 78.38. So if this gap up is going to create any momentum, Square would be a great one to look at, because I think it's going to be, it's got a lot of factors to let it go higher, as long as there's momentum in the market. I found this guy, SANM. It's a software company, I believe. Has good earnings and sales, like I like to try to find. And this nice big ascending triangle after earnings. A ton of volume came in to push it higher. It's come back, it's consolidated, now it's got an ascending triangle. So the area, I believe it's the open that I'm looking at here, 33, right around 33. And then I've got this guy in there. This guy does not quite have the earnings and sales, but it's really close. And then it's got this, which is at least 4 weeks of consolidation. But this is deer. The reason I'm looking at that is because Cat is a similar company, and it is breaking out of this big symmetrical triangle, but doesn't have the earnings and sales. Not even really close. They're kind of like not what I want. The 25 and the 25 at least. Where Deere is a little closer, and it's ready to go. So the area to come over on that one would be, where do I have that? 166.20. So you could take a look at Deere and see if, and it is gapping over that again today. So got to try to enter on a gap if it actually gaps up and goes. So I think that's it. I should have another video for everybody tomorrow, and we'll just keep going through this. See you then.